What are some roles that you and we can partake in this? Maybe let me, before I leave, just with a historical lesson, I feel like there's a lot that we can really grow and kind of participate. As you can tell, I'm a student of Chinese history and Chinese sociology, and I feel like God's leading me, and this is kind of my calling. But you know what? I look at Dr. Ekman and I say, hey, he's totally not called to be a missionary, and God calls him to do this, right? Friends, I believe if in your workplace, whatever you're good at, whatever God has called you to do, if you're faithful, God will give you that opportunity to interact with where the direction of Christianity is going. Okay? You could be, I know a person that works with BWGI, and he is startup guy. You know, he sold his company, all done. He's kind of half retired, semi-retired. And he says, what can I do to help in the ministry in China? And guess what? There's a lot, because there's no business ethics in China. And they need somebody to go and teach in their MBA program. And they're begging people here. And we're like, I don't know if we have more ethics than you guys, but you know. But at least we have a Christian business person who's willing to practice what God has taught him to do, what he is living out his faith. Okay? Of course, you know the people who are teachers, who wants another couples I know, they practice psychotherapy in a Christian counseling center with my wife, their colleagues, and recently they just moved to China. Okay, and they became actually kind of a psychological support to Campus Crusade in China. Okay, Campus Crusade staff in China and they invited Dr. Eggman and myself to go teach in their leadership development courses, because there is just a huge performance trap. They just feel like they need to do certain things, and they need to convert certain people. So if they don't do it, they're not good enough leaders. And and they went over there just to support these stressed staff. Okay, there are all kinds of opportunities. We live in Bay Area. There's a reason why Dr. Eggman in Western Seminary interacted with so many Chinese students. And I think it was by providence, God's sovereign grace, that his material impacted so many Chinese Americans, Asian Americans. Maybe you have Chinese neighbors. Maybe you have Chinese coworkers. Talk to them. Get to know where they're coming from, how their family life is like. You know, I mean, just being faithful where you're at, what God has called you. And I believe that there's something that you can really participate in this great movement that God is doing. And Christendom is shifting. And I don't know if you realize, in California, it's so prominent, right? Everywhere you go, the best places are taken by some people. You know what kind of people? Catholics. It's true. I was just at a retreat, a Jesuit retreat house in Los Altos. And boy, they have 55 acres on top of Los Altos. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars, right? And they got the best spot in California. Why? Because they got here early, right? Do you want to be part of that so that we can be in China early in 50 years? They will say, how do you Christians get all this best real estate and retreat places, and we got to go in now. Do you know? I mean, I'm not trying to be famous or anything, you know? I mean, but really, right now there's no official seminaries, there's no official, I mean, who knows? Dr. Eggman's material, you know, it'll be an auditorium dedicated to Dr. Eggman, right? You know, that's what's good. That's what's going on. But we got to get there early. Okay? And this is the infancy, and this is where we're starting to explode with the Christianity in China, and this is where we can get involved. Okay? And so if you ever want to participate, we'd love to have your, if any kind of specialty that you have, we'd love to kind of plug you in. If it's not with BWGI, there are many other places that we know of that we can definitely will, appreciate your contribution as well. Okay? Yes? Yes?
How's someone like you from Taiwan being received in China?
Okay, great question. So I've been, like I said, I've been a student of Chinese history and a lot of things. So in Berkeley, I took a lot of those classes as well. Okay, I've been out of Taiwan for so long that I'm really not very in touch with Taiwanese history or anything like that. So I probably know China better than Taiwan. For Chinese, mainland Chinese, they view Taiwan as second cousin. So close enough. And they would know that I'm not from Beijing, but they cannot tell that I'm from Taiwan. They will say, oh, you're from the south somewhere. So I don't have a very strong Taiwanese accent, so if that helps.
Okay, second question, the 60 to 70 million Christians, is that Protestants or including Catholics?
It's including Catholic. They approximate Catholic, I can't give you the precise breakdown. I think 7 million is Catholic. Yeah. Don't quote me though. If you really want a precise number, I can get it to you later. Yes?
I have a question.
Yes.
I came late, so I apologize
Nope.
if I missed them, but isn't there more men than women in China?
There, yes.
And,
Because of one-child policy.
Right.
Yes.
And so like I've heard, I read a lot, and they say kind of Christianity is a woman religion, it's a lot of women in the church, but it's typical of women. So how does that work in China with them growing so much, where there's more men?
That's absolutely correct observation. And by the way, this is not the first time that the church encountered this problem. The early Roman church have precisely the same problem. Okay? It's precisely the same problem. Okay?
How do they grow?
How do they grow? They just attracted men into the church. Just like clubs, everywhere there were more women, you got it. It's a happening place. No. But I'm half joking, but half true, okay? The truth part is when you have more women in the church and when there is kids that growing up with the family, most of the time the mother will be very influential to their children's spiritual development. So the second generation comes up because of the mother. So that's the correct answer. Yeah. Yes, Angela. Yes.
When do you think that China will have the most Christian percentage of population?
Percentage, okay, so let's say if we approximate 250, that's almost 20%. If 2030, as they say, there would be about 250 million Christians in China, that's about 20% of the whole entire Chinese population. Okay.
You said they'll have the most in number, but I'm just wondering by what year they'll have the most in percentage.
Okay. You know what? I have not come across any projection about. It'll be tough to have over 50%, but that's just, yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned the migrants who come to the village church, come to press, so they're showing up on lunar weeks to press?
They're showing up where?
On lunar weeks, the celebration weeks.
Oh, yeah, like the Lunar Chinese New Year, they want to go home because that's the only time that they have off from work.
That's when they visit the village church.
Yeah. Oh, not just village churches, but visit home, period,
But you said the village churches had migrants, workers coming that were showing up to press. So I just
Oh, it's really a city church, I'm sorry. It's a city church, yes, because at the city, those migrants, they are far away from home, thousands of miles, leaving their whole social network behind and support network behind, their children, So they're very depressed. Their suicide rate is so high that the government does not want people to know. Okay, they have a very tight control. Dr. Eggman, because he works with the the brightest, the top psychologists in China, they tell him, but they were like, don't tell anybody. It's not supposed to be public. There's a reason why we want you here.
Are they getting help, like the university students are getting help for their issues?
Yes.
Are workers getting help?
Yes. So a lot of times when Dr. Eggman's organization, when we go to China, we're actually training their psychologists on campus or school counselors. Okay, so because they see, hey, these are college students, those are the brightest, those are the people that's going to contribute the most. We better save them, right? So they've spent a lot of resources, kind of taking care of their needs. But migrant workers, forget about it. Yeah, the Chinese government is very cost-benefit analysis, right? Yes.
A question. I thought that was really interesting and sad news about
Yes.
how the churches can't open a bank account.
Oh.
But yet you can have a Christian bookstore just, out. So they don't restrict that, but is that intentionally, I guess, on the government that they don't want the church to get too big, so they intentionally make that policy?
Well, you can register with the government. Then they want to read your sermons. They want to know who's on board, who is your leaders. So a lot of the church leaders, they don't want to conform to the so that's why they intentionally, they call it underground.
Private,
Yes.
Then they can.
Yes.
Even if they become a state church.
Yes.
they can-
Yes. And become a state church has certain consequences. For a lot of evangelical leaders, they feel very uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
And there's a historical reason behind it, because the communists persecuted a lot of evangelical leaders early on. So the evangelical leaders really have a strong distrust to the government itself and their managing of religious affair. Yeah. Yes.
How many legal churches in Beijing right now?
Legal churches, I cannot tell you the number. It will be in hundreds. It's they call it three self, patriotic movement. So TSPM that they call it, three self patriotic movement. So whatever that's under the government sanctioned church, it'll be in hundreds. And usually they are much larger than the house churches or the unregistered churches.
I could only search about 20.
Oh, is it only 20? It's possible. It's possible. But usually they're larger in size than the house churches.
You mean in people size?
Yes, people size. Yes. But a lot of the evangelical leaders rather go unregistered because they're fearful of the control from the government. So mainly we work with, I work with unregistered churches. It's harder for Dr. Eggman to work on unregistered because he's not Asian, so you will spot him right away. So it's usually not that safe to learn to interact with the unregistered church. Yes. Oh, no, okay. Yes, Pat.
I'm just curious, is there any programs we can check out online that maybe BWGI has got short-term missionary programs that we can sign up for?
Yes, I'm gonna go on a trip in 2-3 weeks. I mean, there are a variety of different things that people can potentially participate in. If you have a particular skill, right now BWGI especially, of course, peer counseling, those kind of things, that's within BWGI. But there are also a lot of different kinds of opportunity that Christendom is really helping to move forward in Chinese culture. And I will say one thing is philanthropy, and I know the orphanages, those kind of things are really needed in Asia, in China. And they just don't have a very strong concept of philanthropy in general, period. Okay, so I think I will be visiting a special need orphanage, in October. And I'm hoping to make some connections with that. And for BWGI, it's more about for us to train the kind of helpers and leaders rather than the children themselves. But I can see a lot of opportunity for wider audience to participate in that besides, what we're doing. All right, any other? Yes, one last one.
Will you still work in your church next year?
No, I'm going to go on full-time staff with BWGI. Yeah, so if any of you are interested in kind of supporting me, I have a prayer letter here, and I would love to have you guys get on my prayer support list so I can send you some information. That would be great. Yeah, Mary.
Suggestion.
Yes.
Can you consider organizing a mission trip
Mm-hmm.
for the people like here that are interested in going to Beijing with you maybe next year?
Okay. Well, I can definitely check it out. Yes, I need to find the right opportunities for sure. Absolutely.